the test from her. She chose this path. I recently found out that my wife of 4 years has been having an EAP with an ex-boyfriend. I just found out about it 3 days ago. When I confronted her about it, she said she didn't see why it was a problem. She told me she has been seeing him along. There weren't any signs. I am at a loss about what to do. I love her with all my heart and she just stepped on it. I need direction. We can't even talk about it without her telling me it is my fault. I don't meet her needs. She is in love with both of us. How can a woman be in love with 2 men? We had a long talk about the affair tonight. She expressed that it is possible to love people differently. She sees me as her rock. What the hell? But needs him for fun and excitement. I told her I don't think I could live like that. She did tell the OM that I know. I have talked about this with a counselor at an employee assistance program. They recommended MC. Will 1100 or IC help if she doesn't want to end it? I know that it must seem like I'm a doormat, but it's hard when you are so deeply in love with someone. I have to get my head straight. When it comes to the W, I have a hard time separating my feelings. She told me this morning that she wouldn't be with him until things are better with us. I am beginning to think she does see me as a weakling. I am in for so much hurt. God help me. I told her that she couldn't continue to see him ever again. This led to a huge fight. Name-calling, throwing things etc. I left to cool off. When I got back, she was gone. Looks like she took some stuff with her. I called her cell to see if she was alright. She did answer, but I thought I heard a man's voice in the background. I know she is with the OM. Maybe it is time to see what my options are. I don't want to lose her, but I don't want to share her either. I am hanging in there. She's been gone for 2 days now. She did call, but I ducked her call. She didn't even leave a message. Our monies are already separated. We only have a joint account for bills. I talked to an IC. It is good to talk to someone. She is really going to help me, I think. I have another appointment tomorrow. On a side note, her mom called me and we had a nice talk. She doesn't know how she became so selfish. Me giving in to her all the time didn't help. She is staying with the OM. Her family won't butt her up. I will talk to a lawyer soon. Update. She tried to get me to let her back in the house. I told her that she didn't live there anymore. She says she is ready to work on our marriage. She still won't talk to her. She did send me a lengthy email about her relationship with the OM. I didn't respond to it yet. She is leaving messages on my VM telling me she does love me. We had talked this morning. She told me she loves me but not in love with me. She said OM met her needs more than I did. She didn't mean to hurt me, but she didn't want to stop seeing the OM. We agreed to end our nightmare, my term. She is officially moving out this weekend. I think I will find somewhere else to be. Am I a sucker? Here I thought we might be able to work this out and still remain married. She used this as an opportunity to move on. Maybe she never felt the same as I did. God, I hate this. What the hell do I do now? My STBX came over tonight. She wanted to return some stuff of mine that was mixed in with hers. Inside was an envelope with $12 and a note. She repaid money she borrowed from me to spend on the OM. Had a bad night last night. Every time I see her, I get upset. I need to go with NC. She was in the house when I got off work. She was here to check on me. She was afraid I'd hurt myself. I told her she wasn't worth it. This led to a screaming match. The neighbors called the cops. When they came, she told them I was keeping her out of our house. Since she did do a change of address, she no longer lived there. They asked me if I wanted to press charges for trespassing. I told them I just wanted her gone. She did leave. I just changed the locks. I have an appointment with a lawyer on Monday. I need to know what is next. Any advice? It also seems that the friends that know what is going on are very supportive. My best friend never thought that I would wake up. There is hope after all. God give me strength. This really sucks. She called my mom asking for help. Her car broke down and she needed a ride. My mom wouldn't help her out. She told my STBXW to call me. Thanks, Mom. I told her to call OM. She blew up at me saying I am her husband. I am supposed to care for her. I hung on her. I wanted to run to her aid. I still feel for her. She called me back after she got everything straightened out. Seems the OM was unavailable. Found out he was passed out drunk on the couch. Boy, she is really getting a winner with him. I have a job. He is unemployed. I have a car. He can't get his fixed. He is a loser. I got this in the mail today. My dearest OP, it feels like a different lifetime when we first came to know each other. We were both so young and naive, full of starry romance and innocence in our eyes. But in all that innocence, there is one decision which I never regret taking: getting married to you. There were so many problems that we faced before our marriage and even go through ups and downs now. But I always admired your strength and integrity, and I love you for the man you are. I am so proud to be your wife, and I promise that I will always be there for you no matter what, good or bad, we go through in this life. You made all my dreams come true, and thank you for that. You made me complete. It was you, OP, that was there when I needed you. Your understanding will guide us through this ordeal. There are few men who can make their beloved feel like a queen. You are definitely one of them. With all my love, wife, I am at a loss. I really think she is just tormenting me. I am really sick of this. This isn't what I expected. I let her go so she could have who she wanted. Now I am starting to doubt myself again. I meet with an attorney on Monday to see what my options were. I have a lot of reading to do, plans to make. It's been 34 days since D-Day. Today I start to separate things. I took the STBX off my car insurance, credit cards, and I canceled our cell phone plan. I was looking back at the past 4 years and I see that there were signs all along. I feel like a fool for not seeing it sooner. The thing that gets me the most is that there were people, friends and family that knew something was wrong but didn't tell me. I also looked at my wife with a new perspective. All the things she did that I thought were out of love were just to keep me hooked on the line. Chalk that on trusting someone completely. She has left messages for me. Wants to R will give up OM and return home. Lucky me. I might have given R a chance, but after reading some of the emails etc. I know that she married me for the lifestyle I provided her with. I feel used and pissed off, but there are days when I wake up and reach for her without thinking. I think a part of me wants her back and a part wants to cast her to the wind. I have been thinking of what the OM has that I don't. I want to ask her but am afraid of the response. I would like to kick the crap out of the OM for destroying me. Are these feelings normal? Has anyone else whose WH cheated on them felt the need to talk to the OM? OW. An update. She moved out of the OM's house. They had a fight and he hit her. She called the cops and he was arrested. She had nowhere to go, so I decided to help her out. She wanted to move back in. I put her up in a motel for a week until she could find a place of her own. I know I may be a fool for helping her, but I just couldn't let her be without a place to stay. We did talk the night after their fight. I asked her why she did this to me. Call me an idiot, but I felt I needed to know. In her eyes, a man is supposed to be the leader, protector, and provider. I failed in this. I always thought of marriage as a partnership, not a dictatorship. She wanted a strong man. Said I was weak at times. She told me she thought that she would learn to love me. I guess that love is truly blind. I see her in a new light. The woman I married never existed. Only in my mind. I know there will never be R. She doesn't want any part of it. She did say she will agree to whatever settlement I come up with. After our talk, she went to the motel. I got drunk. I have the feeling she has ruined my ability to trust anyone. I don't think I will be letting any other women get close to me. I see a lot of loneliness in my future. I don't think I will be updating anymore. Seems like I will live on in this hell I call my life. Update. I am managing. My wife has filed for dissolution. I guess I was moving too slow for her. Looking back on this, I realize we were too different to really work. She needs an alpha man. That is something I am not. I may be a beta, but I am not a doormat. I wonder, do I need to change for a woman to respect me? What kind of man do women really want? I go to IC once a week to work on my issues arising from all this. I sometimes second guess myself. If only I had been more of a real man, my STBX would have seen me in a different light. She sends me emails telling me to move on and man up. She is still belittling me. I just want to be happy. Seems such a long time since I was. Funny how life is sometimes. A year later, I have been working on myself, both mentally and psychically. My now ex-wife is back with the trash, but that doesn't bother me now. I am happy and glad to be done with the drama. There are times that I miss her, but those times are becoming fewer. To those who are going through this, remember that there are those here that know what they are talking about. Listen, learn, and be strong. My comment: it's never too late to learn how to grow up. It takes time for you to mature as a man, but you should be thankful your ex is gone. You can move on with the drama. Story 2. My wife and I, being together for 8 years and married for 5 years, had some issues in the past, and I never thought that they are serious and major. Nonetheless, on 1st of December 2017, when I came home after work, I noticed that she took all her belongings with herself without any notice and left me a letter stating that she could not continue anymore and thus she chose to be separated. Having said that, we were very close and friendly with each other during the last 2 weeks before her separation, and as a result, I did not expect this coming, which had a huge impact on me. I really love her and cannot cope living without her, especially in a place that we used to live together for almost 3 years. She does not tell me where she lives and stopped contacting me. She says that she is doing this according to what her counselor, doctor, told her. She does not say whether she wants a divorce or not. Currently, I am working on myself to do my best to address all the issues she mentioned and hope for the best. I have bought many relationship guidance books and read them all. I watch YouTube videos regarding this topic every day. I cannot do any other activities and I severely suffer from guilt. Thinking about a life without her will make me anxious and irritated. If I can talk to my wife or see her, that would be great. She does not want to discuss anything at this point and refuses marriage. Couple counseling, saying that you should have done this before. It's too late. The damage is done already, or you have used up all your chances and opportunities. I believe not talking does not help anything, but she is not interested in seeing me or talking to me. I wish I could see her to show her that I have changed as I was working on myself, that thinking about my issues and how I could have behaved differently. Initially, I used to call her begging, crying, pleading with no success. Then I decided to give her time and space while working on myself by implementing no contact rule. She met me twice after the separation. The first time, I bought her flowers and a quite expensive necklace. She accepted the flowers, but returned the necklace saying that you should have done this before. It was quite a while I hadn't got anything as a gift for her. After 2 days I sent her a basket of flowers to her workplace, and she later on said that my female colleagues got so jealous for that. Next meetup was our anniversary, where surprisingly enough, went very well. She held my hand, cried for a little bit, we had beers, laughed, she even put food in my mouth like a mom. I thought that the misery is gone for good and asked her to come back for Christmas Day, and I will try to leave and sleep at my friend's. I said, why should you leave? Come back and I will leave until you recover. I even said come back once a week, then we change it to twice a week and so on if she wants. She said okay. I was so happy beyond belief. Before leaving she joked around and I went home. She texted me after that asking, why did this happen? Why are we separated? We loved each other, what happened to that love? She then said to me to go and watch a new episode of a TV series we used to watch together so it will change our mood. I thought to myself, that's it. She is regretting it and will defiantly come back. You do not believe it. Next day I texted her asking how she is. She ignored me and said, don't call me or text me, I will divorce you, and basically piss off. Needless to say, that she never came back for Christmas Day or anything for that matter. As she is my dependent visa, and due to the limitations of the law and based on the fact that I have renewed my visa, and if I do it without her, she has to leave the country, I broke the NC period prematurely. After 2 weeks of NC, I texted her using a text formula I read on a book, reminding her of a past pleasant event we had, and I ended the text with, are you better? After 2 days she replied, thanks. That's it. Later that night she changed her FB profile picture from us to herself and started putting flower pictures on her Instagram. She hadn't done anything on social media since her separation. Although no one can be 100% sure about cheating or someone else being in the equation, but I am quite confident that is not the case. Before I started NC, I asked her whether she is still having her ring on, and she started swearing at me of asking this as if it is obvious that she keeps wearing it. When I mentioned the visa issue, she said, I don't give a damn. I do not care what happens to me, etc. Then she started replying to my dad's text from 8 days ago the same night, asking her to call him to discuss the matter, as my dad is very close to her and we are Mideastern, different culture. She replied in a very short text to my dad saying, I will call you as soon as I get better, but I do not know when I will be better. My sister called her and talked about 2 hours and basically to test the water. She never said that she wants a divorce or anything. She keeps saying that I will think about it. I do not know what to do now. I text her another message using the textbook formula asking her for a meetup yesterday, which she hasn't replied yet. P.S. I have talked to her mom and brother and they both say, give her time. She did not tell us anything more than she told you. Sorry for the long story. Can someone please help me? What should I do if she said no? What does that mean? If it is for the visa, why doesn't she come back? If she is seeing someone, she could have deleted our pictures on FB or Instagram. Wouldn't the guy say, how come I cannot add you on anything? The FB status is still married. When I went to see her, I was waiting for her outside to finish her work. When she came out, I was on the other side and it was pretty dark, so no one noticed me, yet she told her colleagues that this is my husband and she introduced me to them. About she is being up to something, I also agree. But based on her situation, I know that it is almost zero chance she can stay here, UK. FYI, she loves being here and hate going back to. About the reason, we had many fights. I was a little bit jealous, to be frank, and for no reason. I also have an OCD that if my routine changes, I will get anxious. For example, once a week on a certain day and time I had to call my parents, which we normally do. But because of my OCD, she used to think that I love my family more, and that is why I insist to do so even if we couldn't call at that moment. Moreover, her mom does not like me and they talk to each other almost every day. I think the mom is making her assured that she made the right decision. Should I go without telling her to her workplace and see if she is still wearing the ring? If not, then she lied to me and she is moving on. Also, the possibility of an affair would be higher or close to confirmed. I am not trying to fool myself, but the divorce process takes time and her visa expires in a month or so. Even if she finds someone, she cannot do anything through that guy. She told my sister that she hasn't done anything towards divorce yet. I know she could be lying. I even told her, don't give me false hope. If you don't want this marriage, at least have a courtesy to say it. We had fights and issues, but you know I love you, so this is the least you can do. And she said, give me time, you go and work on yourself, see a counselor. If I didn't do this, you would have never done anything to fix your issues. Neither of us are religious. Both of our families are open-minded. Maybe I should have clarified it on my post. Even though there is still the cultural thing going on, in terms of being religious, arranged marriage, hijab, Islamic rules, that is not the case. We have been living together before marriage as partners. So, treat my case as other Western cases with the exception of a Mideast family ties and culture. If the religious matter was the case, I would have rolled out the affair possibility. A quick update. Last night I texted her wondering how she is. She replied almost instantly even though her tone and message were neutral. I asked if I could call her to talk about myself and how I have been doing during the separation, and I assured her that it would not be about reconciliation or coming back. All I wanted was to update her about what I was working on in terms of improving myself and trying to be a better person. After all, how would she know about these positive changes if we do not have any contact at all? Anyway, she said text it here instead of calling. I said that it is quite long, so she replied to leave voice message. I left a message just to tell her it is rather awkward to talk about myself using voice message. I said if you do not want to talk, I can postpone it for another day. She texted back saying okay another day then and good night. I replied saying fine, good night. That's it. Now what was the point? My opinion. First, if you read my original post, I said that I have OCD about time and dates and how uncertainty would drive me crazy. So, this way, I showed her that I did not ask about the next time and date to call her, which to be honest it was the first time in my life I did that. I think I am changing as I did not get anxious about the uncertainty of the next call. Second, when I left my voice message, I tried to sound confident, mature and focused so at least the image she had before the NC of me begging, pleading, shaky voice, long pauses would hopefully fade away. 1. Did I do a right thing? 2. Is improving as she replied fast and did not ignore me. Is there any change or I am naive? Regardless of the result, I just wonder how on earth a gender, female, can switch off and forget about years of memories and events. It's like 90% women and 10% men who do this, separation, not giving the second chance. If you think about it as a business side of view, or even probability, why wouldn't you women give the second chance? If it works, you win and lose nothing. If it doesn't work, you still haven't lost anything. Yes, you have just wasted another 1 month or 2. This time frame is minuscule compared to the amount of time you spent in the relationship. If I was a woman, to me, it's a very good deal. Now look at the other possibility. If you don't give the second chance, and the guy turned out to be what you wanted, you lose. Regardless of the changes being real or not, if you don't give the chance you lose either way. This of course applies more to situations where there is no one else in the picture. I am a scientist and trust me, if you show this argument to anyone who has common sense, would tell you that it is the best wager. Women who do the same thing. 1. If you are religious, in any religion, God, Allah, Jesus, Zeus, flying spaghetti monster, would say forgive and give another chance. 2. If someone is trying to do something towards your benefit, and yes, his as well, do the same thing. This is the best survival tactic amongst animal kingdom. 3. If you are materialistic, as I said before, this is the best wager you can get. 4. If you are spiritual, Indian gurus they all said forgive and give another chance. 5. If you believe in karma, then I don't need to explain what would happen to you. All of these are based on the fact if the guy has indeed changed. How come you go and buy lottery tickets that the chance of winning is less than 1 in a million? Yet you don't bet on a 50-50 deal. Why the hell doesn't she say I don't want you anymore then? Why does she give hopes? If she is with someone else, okay, tell me you don't want me so I don't harass you anymore and you can have fun with that idiot. There are only 2 possibilities, either 1. You as a husband did nothing deal breaker and major and she saw a new guy. In that case, she must be so evil to harm you and give you false hopes. Just come and say it and I will leave you alone. We are not that desperate. At least this way you don't carry the guilt of cheating and lying. 2. You as a husband indeed were the cause of the problem and had major issues. In that case, again, if you give the false hope, you are exactly like the husband and don't have the high ground. In either case, just say yes or no. Why the limbo? The thing is by the end of next month, if she doesn't come back, she has to leave. Get deported anyway as I have to renew my visa without her regardless of my marital status. If she is playing with me, isn't it better for me to not to file for the divorce as she gets deported anyway by February? At least this way, I can put all the blames on her and play the good guy. This wouldn't change the outcome, which is her deportation. What do you think? We are both in early 30s. She is older though. I have never raised hand on her even though we had many harsh verbal arguments including insults. No cheating from my side, and as far as I knew, no cheating from her side either. She kept all pictures of us with lovely captions and comments on Instagram and FB. She has not changed her FB status from married yet. She hasn't added a new friend on Instagram or FB either. Her pattern is still the same as I can check her online habit. Going to work, finishing at the expected time, going home, come online. Talk to the mom as they both become online at the same time. Update. Talk to her mom to give ultimatum about the deadline of my visa application, where her failure to come back would result in her deportation. The mom talked to her and said I asked her to arrange a meetup as this does not work this way. You need to talk etc. Her wife hasn't contacted me yet. Wondering what should I discuss, where to take her, how to approach during the meetup. So, what do I do now guys? Do I go to meet her or not? If I go, what do I do there? I just want to talk about our marriage to see what the next step would be. She hasn't talked at all so far. I deserve an explanation. You know, she did a lot for me. She helped me in the hardest conditions before and was beside me. You might say that as a wife it was her duty, but why didn't she leave me in the most troublesome and financially unstable moments? She helped me financially to be where I am at the moment. She didn't leave me for nothing though. I know I was not as she wanted me to be. I had a tendency to hurt her with my words and elongate conflicts even though I never raised hands on her. I said very nasty things before that broke her heart. If we take the infidelity out of the equation, then what does a woman want from her life and marriage? We, husbands with separated wives, first have to accept that we did not act as expected, otherwise the woman must be crazy to leave if everything was perfect. Again, I emphasis on the fact that if we roll out the infidelity, grass is greener or cheating scenarios. Yes, I was thinking to get her back first based on the appeal of the visa thing, as I know that under normal circumstances, the chances that a walk-away wife or separated woman coming back is very small, especially within this short time frame. So, I will use my power, which is visa, and play the immigration card to get her back and then show her that I have changed. As if you don't like to watch a particular TV series, but I know that the series is awesome, so I somehow force you to watch the first few episodes of it when I am sure you will like it and will be hooked. Is it moral? Not sure. Her leaving wasn't moral either, but at least I can get her back to show her she was wrong. What do you think? Now a few points. 1. There is a reason I say these now, and you might find a mismatch between my comments now and those that I originally posted. Let me clarify. The reason I originally posted comments such as had some issues in the past, and I never thought that they are serious and major, and we were very close and friendly with each other during the last 2 weeks before her separation, was that even though I had many issues, and she for that matter, we did not see them as major. Why? Because I used to apologies and she was so happy after that. She had bad attitude as well, such as rudeness and being shouty. Nonetheless, they seemed, at least at the time, trivial as we used to apologies and get back together and love each other. We quickly forgot about problems. Now I see that I was the only one who forgot. Why didn't I mention the exact issues I had before? That is the whole point of NC. I worked on myself. I have improved. I now know the exact issues from my end and tried to rectify them. I think I am changed. The first step of fixing an issue is to admit that there is an issue. 2. Why didn't my wife wait just 2 months more and get her visa, then leave? If visa is the only worry she has, hence the limbo. 2 months is nothing compared to 8 years after all. I am going to use the prison analogy, although it might not be that accurate. Why would a prisoner plan an escape when he knows in 2 months his sentence would be over and he would walk out legally rather than being on the run constantly? What was she thinking? Any rational thinker would argue her move. You might say women, especially in this situation, do not think rationally. Fair enough, but if she is at that level of sanity that could rent a flat, sign a contract, take all her belongings and leave nothing left, plan her leave so well that I as a needy and checking husband would not notice it, she would have second thoughts about the visa issue. 3. Let's say there is someone else involved, and she met that sob long time ago and she loves her. Based on this assumption, wouldn't she think that if she stays 2 more months, she can get her residency, and then she can be with that sob forever? Her deportation leads to she not having that sob as well. She doesn't care about me, okay, but what about the sob? It does not make sense at all. Urgent update helps, please. So, thank God I have talked to her over the phone today. She is only concerned about money, and guess what? From my understanding, she is intending to go for settle in the UK as a victim of domestic violence. She lied by saying things about me. She also kept the apology letter I wrote to her probably as evidence. She used to beat me and harassing me, but I never did anything against her. She said, "You should have offered me money support as I am dealing with this harsh situation. I think she needs money for the lawyer and other things." I said, "You chose to be in this situation. I don't even know where you live. Why should I reward you with money? Anyone from UK who can help me with this situation. I am worried that she might do something against me just to get her stay. What should I do? The only thing that worries me is my own settlement application. I need 1 more year to be UK permanent citizen and 1 more year after that to be British citizen. If she proceeds with the false allegations and somehow proves using love and apology letters, would that have a negative effect on my application? I am neutral towards her now. I know hate is such a strong adjective, but having no feelings towards someone is worst. There is a thin line between love and hatred. Now that I know her worries were all about money and she just wants to stay here, I do not give a damn about anything happening to her. I don't want to be part of her life anymore. Now that she knows that I don't like her anymore and this time is real. She is now posting things on Instagram and updating her WhatsApp pics about how some people can't change, etc. She wants me to respond to these so she can hang me around even more. If I file for the divorce, this can be used against me, right? She can say he is doing this to pressure me as my visa is expiring. She has nothing against me as I have done nothing. No police report, no caution, no restraining order, no neighbors to be witness of any fight. Nothing are her words against me. I do not know where she lives and don't want to know at this point. I knew where she worked, but I have never gone to her workplace to see her so she can use it as a harassment. How can she prove her claims? We have a saying in our culture, and the direct translation is an innocent might go as close as possible to the hanging stand, but he would never be hanged. Anyway, is DV a criminal act or family dispute? I will go and see a solicitor. Considering on UK website it says it only applies to spouses, victims of British nationals or people who are settled in the UK. I am neither of them. Using common sense, she should not be able to, as if this was possible. It would be easiest route for a couple to come to UK and settle. Imagine a couple comes on a student visa, wife goes and get indefinite leave to remain in UK based on DV, then they can say we got back together and husband now applies as her dependent. My comment: call immigration and let them in on her little ruse. Tell them it is her intention to build a case against you for domestic violence in order to stay in the country. Say that she is separated and you suspect that she has a lover. Say that you no longer wish to support her visa. They take a dim view of this and will be a lot harder on her than a regular immigrant. If you want, you can ask whether you can accelerate her deportation. I believe this can be achieved as you were likely the sponsoring partner. They will then apprehend her and send her home. This is all a matter of timing. Get her before she gets you. Whether or not she has taken a lover, she needs to leave. OP responds. Update: I have talked to my therapist and several solicitors. Informal conversation. They all told me to focus on myself. A lawyer told me that she cannot do anything as she does not have any evidence. He said if you file for a divorce or report her separation, she can use this against you as I forced her, kicked her out of my life close to her visa expiry. They even told me not to move or change the lock so you show, which is the fact, she chose to leave and she always had the chance to come back. This is in the direct correlation with what is really doing. So, I was doing something that unknowingly correct. Whether I want her back or not is another story after she has done these to me. But this way I show that I am not forcing her out of my life and as a result she has become destitute. A person who works with many charities for women from Middle East and deals with DV said that any lawyer who sees her claims would realize that she is lying. He said with current UK financial situation, these support entities cannot afford to provide any costly services such as getting a lawyer, providing housing, etc. to anyone. The only thing they might do is to try to see if there is any way to reconciliation. Moreover, the route that I think she is going settle in the UK as a victim of domestic violence only applies to wives of British nationals or people who have permanent residency, which I am neither of them. So, I am back to the beginning not knowing what her moves are with the difference that this time, I do not care. I just want to focus on myself and move on. My comment: you should have moved on earlier, but it's never too late. Focus on the path in front of you. Maybe travel a bit, get a new perspective.